Hey, what's up, man? So today, man, we got a special guest back, man, because we got some breaking news I wanted to break down with him, man. We got Big Mike in the building, man. What's up, Big Mike?
The word, bro.
Not much, G, man. We've been chilling, man. It's been a news-filled type of environment out here, man. So I like to bring you on and get your perspective on a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Now, recently, I know you've been keeping up with the news. I know you're working on your music and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you about some of this stuff that's going on in hip-hop, if so we could break it down.
Right.
All right, man. So I got to start off somewhere big, man. So since the last time we talked, man, there's been a lot of news about this whole Lil Durk murder for hire case that he's got going on out there, man. Now, have you seen any of this?
Yeah, I seen it's Instagram that the internet, everything up there. The internet know everything, so that's how I know.
Yeah, it's a wild situation because as soon as something goes viral, it goes everywhere, man, and everybody's talking about it. But man, I want to ask you about some things. First off, what's crazy is in one of our recent interviews or one of our more viral interviews, there was a video that we did that went kind of crazy. And I think it's sitting almost at 400K right now, where you talked about the fact about Munna Duke, man. Now, we recently found out some information in this Lil Durk case where they were bringing up Munna Duke. So I want to talk about it because it was labeled Lil Durk feud with Munna Duke. Now, to preface all this, Lil Durk, one of his co-defendants, OTF DEDE, ended up having to file a motion to separate or a motion to sever. So he wants his case separated from Lil Durk's case in this murder for hire RICO indictment or federal indictment. Now, when you heard about that, about OTF DEDE separating his case, what'd you think about that?
It's like the separation is, when he asked for a separation, it's like the evidence that's against Durk is so overwhelming that DEDE don't want that evidence to be in on his trial if he had to go to trial, you know what I'm saying? So, like, a lot of evidence that they got against Durk, they not going to be able to use against DEDE. You feel me? So a severance make it to where that whatever evidence y'all got on me that put me in that situation, that's what y'all finna have to use. Y'all ain't finna use dude stuff against me too. You know what I'm saying? So a severance, and sometimes it can mean something different. It can mean he put in for a severance so he could tell everything that happened.
Facts. Nah, I'm glad that you covered that part because a lot of people don't understand that emotions to sever or severance in the case by his lawyer is just letting it be known that he doesn't want the inflammatory things in the Durk case to be up in his case. You know what I mean? Don't judge me by what you judging him on. Now, the wild part about it is Lil Durk's attorney, the wording in it, there were some key statements that he made. So he talked about this group text between Boonie Moe, PW1, aka prosecution witness 1, OTF DEDE, aka the thread or DEDE, DeAndre Wilson, and Lil Durk. Now, in this group text, it was said that Lil Durk was upset about people not retaliating for King Von. And he was specifically upset with your old hood, your old neighborhood, O-Block, man. Now, did you see any of that? And if so, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I'm saying, the blog, I don't know how true it is, but the blogs got it to the point where it's like, they saying that Durk had, was ordering hits on O-Block members because they wasn't lying for Von, like how he felt like they were supposed to, I guess. I don't know how true that could be, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if it is, like, the man crazy. But where all this, you got to think about stuff like that, though. Like, where all this stuff coming from, though? Like, somebody got to be saying something. Somebody had to tell them something about that situation for them to even put them pieces together like that anyway.
Yep, and to be honest, in the motion to sever, it actually lists PW1 as one of the people in this group text. So that got me to thinking. I was like, well, they've got to know who they're in this group text with because they actually said the name of the whole group text, oddly enough, was called Feud with Munna Duke or Munna Duke issue or something like that, right? So it was labeled as that in the case. Not saying that's what they labeled it as, That's what they labeled it as in the case, as feud with Munna Duke. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But in there, they have PW1 along with these other guys. Like, as somebody in the case, you would know who's in your group text. Like, you might have a Monday Night Football group text or something, right? You know who's in that group. So for PW1, doesn't that kind of expose who this person is?
Yeah. That's kind of dangerous.
It seems like it. Now, that got to me thinking, like, could this have been a play to put it out there to other people who exactly PW1 is? Because OTF DEDE, he knows who was in that group text with him. Right. Boonie Moe, he knows who's in that group text with him. Lil Durk knows who's in that group text with him. So if they have somebody listed in the group text as prosecution witness 1, that already tells you who's an informant right there, right? Just from from using reasoning or deductive reasoning or the process elimination, right?
Yeah, unless they just playing games.
Good point. Good point. So when you hear that, what do you think? Like, they had this group text that's being used now and it's alleging all these things.
I mean, like when you look at it, it's like everybody want to be gangsters and say they know what they doing in the streets and stuff like that. But that's like a prime example of like we all make mistakes out of these streets because that was dumb. You feel me? Like, y'all got a group chat talking about some stuff or whatever y'all hear going on or whatever was talked about in the group text or whatever. And now these people didn't discover it. Come on, man. It's obviously we ain't smart as we thought we was, gang.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think, I don't think there's any possible way these days with technology not to slip up, right?
It's kind of, unless you go back to the old days to start carrying around flip phones or something like that.
That's true. That's a good point. Now, also in there, it said there was a clear issue that Durk had with O'Block for not sliding for Vaughn. Now, they didn't use sliding, but that's technically what they said. Plus, there was additional pressure from online campaigns basically saying slide for Vaughn. Now, do you think that pressure in the industry or from fans, and then the fact that, Lil Durk, well, they're saying in this document that he wasn't ready to slide for Vaughn, or excuse me, that he was upset that O'Block members weren't sliding for Vaughn, really could have been the tipping point for Lil Durk?
It might have been. You never know. Somebody can have so much love for a certain person to the point where it's like they wouldn't do anything for that person, but they feeling like, man, y'all are supposed to be doing more than I'm doing. That's he from y'all block. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be some type of hatred, resentment. You know what I'm saying? They always had their problems back. They little bickering back and forth, but they ain't never get nothing like this. Guess this. You know what I'm saying? As a true situation. At the same time, though, like, he probably it just probably something down there is hard. He just like, you know what I'm saying, y'all cowards, you know what I'm saying? He upset about the situation, so he like, all right, I don't like some of you niggas anyway, so that may be the case. You never know.
Now this goes into what was said in the paperwork. So it also said this. It said that Lil Durk even sent the message where he said he's finna pipe up. Now at that point, Lil Durk is a international superstar rapper, and he's basically saying that, yo, y'all ain't gonna slide. Well, this is what the paperwork is saying, that y'all ain't gonna slide. Well, I'm finna pipe up. Now, that's kind of crazy to think about, right?
I guess he felt like if they ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
That's a possibility, man. Now, Boonie Moe is alleged to have replied to him and said, hey, blood, it's a green light, and that him and PW1 were gonna, I guess, take care of it. Now, here's a weird question. Now, this is off in the, do you think that this could have been a play by the attorney to confirm who PW1 was for the streets?
It could be, because at the end of the day, a lot of people be thinking that they do, but them people don't care about us, man. All that, man, them people gonna throw you up under the bus, bro. Them people is gonna throw you up under the bus. Anything to make sure they case good, Man, them people gonna throw you up under the bus, bro.
That's for sure, man. They got to look out for their pockets, and ain't nobody going to sacrifice their legal license or anything for anybody, right?
Nah, I ain't doing that.
In fact,
People get thrown up under the bus when they come to that.
Definitely, because they work their whole life to become attorneys, and they'll do what they can for the money to get you off. But when it comes to them personally, it ain't about to be about that.
Well, you want them to little stairs? It ain't gonna happen.
Now, this is another detail that I want to talk about before we stop talking about the paperwork is, in these documents, it also said that Lil Durk allegedly sent Boonie Moe and PW1 to travel to O-Block and kill whatever O-Block members they could find. And they couldn't go through with it with the murders only because there was a large police presence outside of O-Block at that time, man. Now, that sounds crazy, man. Now, what do you think, Big Mike?
I mean, I heard that, but then it was like, do I believe it? I don't know, you feeling it? Are you sending people off? Like, cause that's sending people off. You telling people to go slide on some niggas, and you ain't doing it. It's a possibility that them niggas don't make it back up off that block that you sending them on. So it'd be like, do you believe it or is it truth? I don't know. But at the same time, if it is though, like sending dude them up like that is crazy. And then how is all this information coming out? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Where are they getting this shit, bro?
Now, I'm assuming that they're getting this information from PW1 because in the documents that were leaked online, and like you said, a lot of this stuff is coming out of the case file, and then it's getting the document it's supposed to come out of is then getting closed. You'll see that you can't pull it anymore; it'll get closed. So a lot of this is starting to just spread across social media without any context to the further, right? So there's a lot of context sometimes that's missing. But some of these statements are taken directly out of what's available for the public. So it's half and half.
We definitely gonna see the outcome of this, cause everything gonna hit the fan.